by Carol Michelle Kaplan. I saw a man in the park, his face bloated with anger, red, his arm raised, and the end of it a fist, aimed at a child at his knees, wanting attention and a hot dog. I want something to eat. I want. But he had nothing to give. No money, no patience, no anything else. And the fury rose up inside him as if from hell itself, and the fist braced to explode like a bullet. And the little girl cringed and screamed, "Please, no, don't!" And he didn't. He stopped. His arm froze as if arrested by an idea. And he looked at the little girl, and he saw her for who she was. Small, frightened, innocent. And he picked her up, and he tossed her into the air, and the little girl's laughter sounded like bicycle bells and sparrows twittering in flight. I saw this news report about Darfur that showed Janjaweed militiamen riding their horses through a burning African village, firing their automatic rifles at the scattering villagers, bareback, sandaled feet, ragged clothing, whipping against bone-thin limbs as they fled for their lives, and in one militiaman's path, an African woman, a Zagawan, eyes wide with shock, one hand stretched out to fend off a blow, and at her breast, the nose of her 9-month-old baby. And the soldier, he leveled the rifle and stared down the barrel, and the woman's whispered cry went out, "Please, no, don't!" And he didn't. He stopped, his finger poised as if caught by a thought. And he looked at the woman, and he saw her for who she was, a mother, desperate, alone. And he noticed that the other Janjaweed had passed, and he spurred his horse on and galloped around her, and the woman's sobs rose up like the beating of drums, strong enough to bring down the rain. I read this article in a magazine about a Muslim girl, Bosnian, 15 years old. She was dragged from her bed and taken to a camp and surrounded by men who threatened to rape her and break her, who hit her and beat her, and she beseeched them, "Please, no, don't!" And a teenage boy passing by heard her cries, and he stopped. He came over and he said, "I know you. We used to go to school together in Prejador." He saw her for who she was. And he turned to the men and he said, "Leave her alone. She's just a girl from my school who won a prize for an essay. And I've seen the sun shine on her teeth when she laughs with her friends." And the men, they hung their heads and they backed away. And the young girl's tears flowed like a prayer from her lips for the boy who appeared like an angel and intervened. I knew a girl who I went to school with, who always changed for PE in the toilet stalls. And one day, she was late and she didn't have the time. And when she took off her shirt, I saw the welts on her back. Red welts, the kind you can only get from a whip. And then she saw me see them and the look on my face, and I stopped what I was doing and I opened my mouth to tell her that I cared. That it was wrong, that we would confront her mother and shake the switch from her hand and fling it to the floor and stamp it into 1,000 little pieces. And she would never again have to be afraid of going home. I wish this were the way things happened. Everything I've said. But they did not. The father hit. The soldier fired. I did not speak. I turned away. I pretended I didn't see. They did not happen, as I've said, but they might have. Because the boy from Prejador, he stopped. He was the only one.